Get out! Get out of my compound now! Mama Adaze's voice thundered across the courtyard as she flung Ebuka's clothes from the balcony. Shirts, trousers, and children's garments floated down like defeated flags before landing in the red dust below. Ebuka stumbled down the stairs, his wife Ngozi clutching their crying baby. "Please, Mama Adaeze," he begged, his voice breaking. "Just give us 1 more week. I swear I will pay the rent. My salary is coming next Tuesday." Mama Adaeze stood at the top of the stairs, her expensive gold jewelry glinting in the afternoon sun. She was a large woman, draped in the finest Ankara fabric, her head tie sitting on her head like a crown of authority. "1 more week?" she laughed bitterly. "Do I look like a charity organization? You are 3 days late with my rent. 3 days. Oh, and you want 1 more week? It's not fair, Ma," Ngozi sobbed. "We have nowhere to go. Our children. Should have thought about your children before you decided to live in my house without paying me." Mama Adaeze snapped her fingers at Okoro, her gateman, who stood nearby looking uncomfortable. "Okoro, why are you standing there like a statue? Throw their remaining things out now." Okoro, a thin man with kind eyes, hesitated. "Mama, please, it is almost evening. Where will they go with small children?" Mama Adaze's eyes flashed dangerously. "Are you questioning me? Do you want to join them on the street? Move! If you're already hooked by this story, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below telling me where you are watching from. And don't forget to like this video. It helps more people find these stories. Now let's get back to the story. With heavy shoulders, Okoro began gathering the family's belongings. The other tenants watched from their windows, too afraid to intervene. They had all seen this scene before. Mama Adaeze owned 5 compounds in the area, and her cruelty was legendary. She increased rent whenever she pleased, invented fees that didn't exist, and showed mercy to no one. As Ebuka's family gathered their scattered belongings and left through the gate, Mama Nkem, an elderly woman who lived in the boys' quarters, shook her head sadly. "That woman's heart is made of stone," she muttered. "One day, God will send someone to teach her a lesson." The next morning, as if in answer to Mama Nkem's prayer, a yellow taxi pulled up to the compound gate. A young woman stepped out, carrying a single traveling bag and a portable sewing machine case. She was slim and elegant, dressed simply in a blue dress, her natural hair pulled back in a neat bun. Okoro opened the gate, eyeing her with concern. "Good morning, sister. Are you looking for someone?" "Good morning. I'm looking for a room to rent. I heard there's a vacancy here." Before Okoro could respond, Mama Nkem hurried over, her wrapper tied firmly around her waist. She pulled the young woman aside, her voice urgent and low. "My daughter, what is your name?" "Chidinma, Ma." "Chidinma, listen to me. Don't rent here. The landlady, Mama Adaeze, she is a wicked woman. Ah, very wicked. Just yesterday, she threw out a family with small children. No mercy at all. She will collect all your money and still make your life miserable. Please, I find somewhere else." Chidinma smiled, and something in that smile was mysterious, almost knowing. "Thank you for the warning, Ma. I appreciate your kind heart, but I think I'll stay." Mama Nkem's eyes widened. "Eh? Didn't you hear what I just said?" "I heard you very well, Ma. Don't worry about me. I can take care of myself." Chidinma patted the older woman's shoulder gently and walked toward the main building. Mama Nkem watched her go, shaking her head. "These young people of nowadays, they think they know everything. She will learn." Mama Adaeze received Chidinma in her lavish ground-floor apartment. The parlor was filled with expensive furniture, a large television, and glass cabinets displaying china that no one was allowed to touch. Mama Adaeze herself sat in a massive cushioned chair like a queen on her throne, and her eyes scanning Chidinma from head to toe. "So you want to rent my room?" she asked, her tone already dismissive. "Yes, Ma, I'm a seamstress. I need a quiet place to work and rest." "Seamstress?" Mama Adaze's lip curled slightly. Well, as long as your money is complete, I don't care what you do. But there are rules in this compound. Strict rules. No visitors after 6 o'clock. No cooking of smelly foods like stockfish. No washing clothes after 8 in the morning. No noise. I can inspect your room anytime I want without notice. And rent is paid 3 months in advance. Chidinma pulled out a small notebook and pen from her bag. I see. Can you repeat those fees, Ma? I want to make sure I write everything down correctly. Mama Adaeze frowned slightly. Nobody had ever asked to write down her demands before. Why do you need to write it? For my records, Ma, so there's no confusion later. Chidinma's smile was polite but firm. Mama Adaeze shifted in her seat. The rent is 30,000 naira per month. 3 months is 90,000, plus 20,000 security deposit, plus 10,000 development levy, plus 5,000 compound maintenance fee. That's 125,000 naira total. Chidinma wrote carefully, then looked up. Development levy for what development, Ma? What kind of question is that? For maintaining the property? But there's already a compound maintenance fee. Are they different things? Mama Adaze's eyes narrowed. Look, if you cannot afford it, there are other people waiting for this room. I can afford it, Ma. I just want clarity. Chidinma's voice remained calm and pleasant. Can you give me a receipt for all payments? Receipt? Mama Adaeze laughed harshly. I don't give receipts. What do you need receipt for? You don't trust me? It's not about trust, Ma. It's just good practice. When you pay for something, you should get a receipt. It protects both of us. The room fell silent. Mama Adaeze stared at this strange girl who didn't cower or stammer like the others. There was something different about her, something that made Mama Adaeze uncomfortable. But the room had been empty for 2 weeks since she threw out Ibuka, and she needed the money. Fine, she snapped. I will give you receipt, but you will move in today and pay everything now. Of course, Ma. Chidinma counted out the money with careful precision and waited while Mama Adaeze grudgingly wrote out a receipt. Over the next 2 weeks, Chidinma settled into the compound quietly. She greeted everyone politely, helped Mama and Kem carry water, and her sewing machine hummed late into the evenings. The other tenants, Ifeoma and Chukwudi, watched her nervously, waiting for Mama Adaeze to strike, and strike she did. One evening, Mama Adaeze stormed to Chidinma's room and banged on the door. Chidinma, come out here. Chidinma opened the door calmly. Good evening, Ma. How can I help you? Don't good evening me. You cooked a goosey soup today. The smell is disturbing my nose. I told you no smelly foods. Ma, you said no stockfish. A goosey soup doesn't have stockfish. I made sure of that. Don't argue with me. I said smelly foods. Chidinma pulled out her notebook. I wrote down everything you said on the first day, Ma. You specifically mentioned stockfish. And you didn't mention a goosey soup or any other soup. Would you like to see? Mama Adaze's face flushed with anger. So you are trying to be clever. You think you are smart with your notebook. Let me tell you something. This is my house. What I say is law. I understand it's your house, Ma, but we have an agreement. I paid my rent in full for 3 months. I have a receipt, and I'm following all the rules you stated. I'm adding a new rule. No cooking of any soup that smells. Chidinma smiled that mysterious smile again. If you want to add new rules, Ma, that would require a new agreement, and possibly an adjustment in rent since you're changing the terms after I've already paid. Mama Adaze's mouth opened and closed like a fish. Never, in all her years as a landlady, had anyone spoken to her like this. Not with disrespect, but with such calm, unshakable confidence. It infuriated her. You will see, she hissed. You will see what I will do to you. The next week, Mama Adaeze ordered Okoro to lock the compound gate at exactly 6 o'clock. When Chidinma returned at 6:15 from delivering a dress to a client, she found the gate locked. Okoro, she called, please open the gate. Okoro came reluctantly. I'm sorry, Sister Chidinma. Mama Adaeze said I should not open after 6. But I live here. I paid my rent. I know, sister, but she will sack me if I disobey. Chidinma pulled out her phone and made a call. She spoke in low tones for several minutes. 10 minutes later, Mama Adaeze herself came to the gate, furious. Who are you calling? Who did you report me to? I called the police, Ma, and I explained that my landlady has locked me out of the property I've paid for and I need assistance gaining access to my belongings. You did what? Mama Adaeze's voice was shrill. You cannot lock a tenant out of a property they've legally paid for, Ma. That's illegal. The police said they can come if needed, but I told them I hoped we could resolve it peacefully. For the first time, fear flickered across Mama Adaeze's face. The police meant questions, possible records, attention she didn't want. She jabbed a finger at Okoro. Open the gate, but the war was not over. The following week, Mama Adaeze claimed that Chidinma's sewing machine was too noisy and demanded an extra noise pollution fee of 15,000 naira. Chidinma requested documentation of this fee in writing. A Mama Adaeze claimed there was a leak in Chidinma's room and demanded money for repairs. Chidinma took photos proving there was no leak and showed them to Mama Adaeze with witnesses present. Each time, Mama Adaeze found herself blocked by this quiet, smiling woman who documented everything, knew her rights, and never raised her voice or showed fear. The other tenants began to watch with growing hope. Ifeoma whispered to Chukwudi, "This Chidinma, she is not ordinary. See how she faces Mama Adaeze without shaking." The breaking point came on a Saturday afternoon. Mama Adaeze, desperate to find something, anything, to use against Chidinma, burst into her room without knocking during a surprise inspection. "Mama Adaeze!" Chidinma stood up from her sewing machine. "You didn't knock. I told you I can inspect any time. I'm confiscating this sewing machine. You haven't paid the commercial activity fee." "What commercial activity fee?" "This one." Mama Adaeze gestured wildly. "You are running a business in my house, sewing for people. You must pay." "Ma, I'm a seamstress. You knew this when I moved in. You never mentioned any commercial activity fee." "I'm mentioning it now. Give me the machine or pack out." Chidinma walked calmly to her bag and pulled out a folder. From it, she extracted several documents and her phone. "Ma, before you take my machine, I think you should know something." "Know what?" Mama Adaeze reached for the sewing machine. "I've been documenting everything since I moved in. Every illegal fee you've demanded, every threat you've made, every time you've violated tenant rights." Chidinma's voice was still calm, but something had shifted. There was steel beneath the silk now. "I have recordings, photographs, witness statements from other tenants, and a complete record of your harassment." Mama Adaeze froze. "I also did some research," Chidinma continued. "You've collected development levies from tenants in this compound for 3 years, but there's no record of any development. You claim to charge for water, but the borehole was installed by the previous landlord. You increase rent without proper notice and keep security deposits without cause." She paused. "I've already filed a complaint with the Housing Regulatory Authority." The colour drained from Mama Adaeze's face. You did what?" "I filed a formal complaint 2 days ago. They'll be coming to investigate next week." Chidinma pulled out another paper. "I'm also a lawyer, Ma. I passed the bar 3 years ago. I took up sewing because I love it, but law is my profession. I moved into this compound specifically because I heard about what you were doing to people." Mama Adaeze stumbled backward, her hand clutching her chest. This was a trap." "Not a trap, Ma, justice. People like Ibuka and his family, Mama Nkem, who's lived here for 15 years in fear. All the others you've cheated and abused, they deserve better, and you deserve to face consequences." "Please," Mama Adaeze's voice cracked. For the first time, she was the one pleading. "Please, I will change. I will return their money." "You will return every illegal fee you've collected from every tenant for the past 3 years. You will register this property properly and follow housing regulations." You will treat your tenants with respect and dignity. Chidinma's eyes were firm, but not cruel. And if you do all this, if you genuinely change, I will tell the authorities that you're cooperating and making restitution. Mama Adaeze sank into Chidinma's chair, her expensive jewelry suddenly looking like cheap costume pieces. She was crying now, mascara running down her cheeks. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Don't apologize to me, Ma. Apologize to all the people you've hurt. 1 month later, the compound was transformed. Mama Adaeze, under Chidinma's supervision and the watchful eye of the housing authority, had returned over 400,000 naira to various tenants. She reduced rents to fair market rates, removed all illegal fees, and began actually maintaining the property. Ebuka and his family moved back in. Imama and Kem received a refund of 3 years of fake development levies. The compound, once a place of fear, began to feel like a community. Mama Adaeze, humbled and changed, knocked on Chidinma's door one evening. "Thank you," she said quietly. Chidinma looked up from her sewing. "For what, Ma?" "For not destroying me completely. You could have. You had enough evidence to send me to prison, but you gave me a chance to make things right." "Everyone deserves a chance to change, Ma. But remember, wickedness always meets its match eventually. The question is whether we learn from it or let it destroy us." Mama Adaeze nodded, tears in her eyes, and walked away a different woman than she had been. As Chidinma returned to her sewing, Mama and Kem appeared at the door with a bowl of fresh okra soup. "My daughter, you are a blessing. A true blessing." Chidinma smiled. "We all have a role to play, Ma. Sometimes that role is standing up for those who can't stand up for themselves." The story of the wicked landlady who finally met her match spread throughout the neighborhood, a reminder that cruelty never goes unpunished forever, and that courage, wisdom, and justice will always prevail. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, subscribe to our channel for more inspiring African folktales, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever stood up to injustice? How did it change you? Let us know. Until next time, remember that treating others with kindness and respect is never a weakness, but a strength. Stay blessed. The end.